Hey everybody, welcome to the backyard today. And folks, I want to tell you something. It is hot. I'm sure most of the country knows exactly what I'm talking about. And when you've got a head like this, I got to protect it. I brought the big boy hat out today because I got to make sure I stay okay up underneath here. What are we going to do for you today? We're going to cook a salmon. And hidden underneath here, we have a beautiful cut of salmon skin on. Now, we want to glaze this up with a sweet glaze because that's the request I had. So we're going to start off by saying we've got a half a cup of brown sugar. Okay, to this half a cup of brown sugar, we're going to add 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And you can use bottled lemon juice for that, it'd be fine. A teaspoon of salt. Seafood can be salty, so we're only going to put that in there. A teaspoon of paprika. Humidity's wanting to keep that in there. And a teaspoon of soy. That's also going to add a little salt to this too. So you have to be careful. And then we're just going to mix this all up. And we're kind of going to make like a paste. It's going to be dark, folks. It's going to be dark, and we're going to mix this all up and get it well blended. I brought a little water in case we needed to cut it a little bit, but I don't think we're going to have to. Alright, now let's talk about this salmon. I had it covered up to keep the little critters off of it, but now I'm going to do something to my salmon that a lot of people don't necessarily think is the right thing to do. You've got a thin part of the salmon and you got a thick part of the salmon. I like to go through here in the thick part and cut some cross hatches. It kind of helps some of the liquid get down in there, but it also helps things cook. Not to mention, sometimes it makes for a pretty piece of salmon. Now when you get your salmon, folks, wash it good, make sure it's good and clean. The other thing that you need to always remember is keep it in the ice box and keep it cold. With beef and pork and things like that, you like them to come up to room temperature before you cook them. Salmon's not that way. Keep it good and cool. Okay? Now, we're going to take our little whiz-bang plastic brush and we're going to get a little bit of this on here. And we're going to be liberal with this. I'm going to put this all over. Now we're also going to coat this on the fish as it cooks. So if you wonder why I made so much, we're going to keep this on the fish again as it cooks. We're going to get this on here. So we've got that on there. We're going to spend a little extra time getting it in some of those little cracks and crevices just a little bit. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this mix. You can take this mix however you want to, but salmon is good with the brown sugar. You can put a little cayenne, a little other spices in there if you want it to get a little hotter. You can take an Asian spin on it. You can do it a lot of different ways. I was requested to do a sweet piece of salmon, so we're going to do a sweet piece of salmon, folks. We're going to put it on the smoker. Now with salmon, you don't want to just blast the heat in there and cook it real fast and get it all done. You need to be gentle with it. All right, we've got a good little fire in here. It's roaring pretty good. I hear it popping. But we got fire in here, and this is oak. That's my favorite wood to cook on. I've got the vents fully open on this side. But I'm gonna pinch this off a little bit right here, about 3/4 of the way, slow the airflow down. We've got thermometers on here. I don't know if they work anymore. They've been in here a long time, but we're probably around 200 to 225. And you can see we got a fair amount of smoke. Now one thing with fish, don't over smoke it. We need to get the good heat and some smoke flavor, but it'll take on a lot of smoke really fast if you're not careful. So we're going to take a little bit of olive oil, because this is fish and it has a tendency to stick. We're going to put it on a napkin like this, and we dribble it on the ground. You want to coat this rack just a little bit. We're just going to make sure that the salmon doesn't stick on there. And we're going to see if we can get this slipped up here on the smoker. A little trick I found is to put my pan underneath the handle. Kind of helps me hold things when I'm out here by myself. And we heard a little sizzle as we put it on, so we know we're about 250 in my experience with this smoker. So again, folks, don't cook your salmon real hard. Okay, be a little gentle with it. And I'd say be gentle with any fish, especially on the grill. If you cook it too hard, you'll push some of the fat out of the fish, and that fat has a tremendous amount of flavor. And like I say, folks, man, it is hot out here, and it's just summertime in Mississippi. One of the things I always tell people, and I tell everybody that watches my videos, don't be shy. Try things, experiment. So I'm going to drift a little off this topic for just a minute to tell you that I was at the store and I saw a beer, and the flavor of the beer is pecan, and I thought, man, I like pecans, this can't be too terribly bad. Well, folks, I tried it, and all I'm going to say is on a day like today, it's cold and wet. But it's not my favorite, but it's going to work. But again, don't be afraid to try things, folks. Experiment around, be creative, go outside of your comfort zone, do the best you can. We're going to let this salmon go for a few minutes, and we're going to come back and see y'all. Welcome back out here, folks. We got the salmon cooked and it came out really pretty. I did kind of crack it a little bit when I took it off because I wasn't too gentle with it, but this is the salmon. We've got our butter and everything is caramelized on top, and it looks really good, and we didn't overcook it. We're going to garnish this platter, and it's not going to hurt for this to be in that juice. It all gets mixed up anyway, folks, but we want to garnish that with some broccoli florets that we have out here. We want to make this appetizing and appealing to everybody. And that is something about me that I'm just that way. I like to have a pretty plate. But that's just me. I'm not saying that's right, wrong, or indifferent. We're going to get that on there. But there you go, folks. A nice Arctic salmon all fixed up and ready to go for a nice evening meal. Now I want to talk just briefly about a couple of different things. Cleaning up. A lot of people ask me, Jeff, isn't it hard to clean up? And I can tell everybody the best thing that you can use to clean up is heat, hot water or fire. You take your grill, if you get something that sticks on your grill, put it over the fire, burn it all off, get it good, and wire brush your grill really good, and brush it with oil. And that's the best cleaning. That's the best way you can clean anything. Hot water, because trust me, folks, hot water is the only thing that'll cut through grease. But as you go about your summertime, be adventurous. Go look out there and try to find some new things to eat. Tonight, we're going to enjoy a big piece of salmon. So, folks, enjoy your day, and like we end all of our videos, enjoy your food.